Welcome to part two of my 1973 Ford 4000 clutch replacement and such. While I'm waiting for parts to arrive, because I didn't want to order parts until I took it apart and saw just what my pressure plate and clutch, all that looked like, to hopefully get the right thing. So while I'm waiting for parts to show up, I'm starting to clean up. So as you saw in the last video, that looks quite different. But a little thing that I'm doing here while I'm cleaning stuff up, I have to get the throw-out bearing removed from this shaft. Haven't started that yet, but I also needed the pilot bearing out of the back of the engine, off of the crankshaft. And this is the pilot bearing, I can get it in the right view here, that sits in here and holds up the end of the shaft that comes out of the transmission with the clutch and pressure plate and flywheel, everything in between. I do have the flywheel resurfaced now, and that's ready to go. But anyway, removing the pilot bearing can be a pain. They make special tools for doing it, but super easy, very effective way to do this just out of what you have in your shop. Take a bolt with a nut and slip it in here, and I'm going to just take this out of the way so you can see. And basically, the bolt will bottom out back here and put the nut so it hooks on the back of the pilot bearing like this when it's in place. And really, it's just a matter of taking a screwdriver to keep that nut in place, hooked on here like this. Use a little screwdriver to hold that nut in place, and then screw this in, and it pops right out. Did not take excessive force, didn't need a special tool. It just popped out nice and smooth and worked very well. So anyway, just thought I'd share that little bit of information while I'm in this middle stage cleanup. I'm going to clean up my flywheel plate, and I'm going to probably scrub that horrible looking gas tank down, that kind of stuff. Just do some cleanup today. I actually, one other thing, you could see in here, some of these holes for mounting the two together, you're not going to be able to see, but the holes that have a bottom, they are not a nut and bolt, it's just a bolt into the block. The holes are full of crap. They're full of grimy, greasy, just bits you don't want in there. So I bought some brake cleaner that I can spray in there to break that loose. And then I'm going to use my air compressor blow gun with a rag over it to blow that crap out, to clean out all of these holes that have a bottom in them. So that's what I'm planning to do with all of the threaded holes. So that's another part of the cleanup that I'll be working on today. So anyway, just thought I'd share that little tip and show you the first start of phase 2. Okay, just a real quick summary of today's efforts. Got the gas tank all cleaned up, scraped off, wire brushed down. I will probably paint that thing. I don't know what color I might paint that yet. I mean, it's going to be hardly visible at all, but I don't know. I like to paint things, especially once I clean them up. So I might paint that like a bright red or something and stick it underneath the hood there. Other than that, I did get the pilot bearing out, which I showed you in the last video, and the new one put in. So that's all ready to go. That is tested. I also got the old throw-out bearing removed from the sleeve and the new one installed. So throw-out bearing is ready to go. Just got to grease up a few things in here, and that part will be ready to be put back together. And let's see, what else did I do? I think that's mostly what I did. Cleaned up a few other parts, but yeah, just keep it short. But that was pretty much it for today. Just clean up, and had some other things to do today, so didn't spend a whole lot of time, but I'm satisfied. So there you go. Not a lot to show for this Sunday afternoon of potzing around. Mainly cleaning up the bolts to tie the two halves together, cleaning out the holes so that all works better when I go to put it back together. But not much to show for it. The only thing I can actually show is I did actually go ahead and paint the gas tank. So my wife Janet came down and it's like, why did you paint that? And it's like, well, I cleaned it all up. So I had 3 cans of partial red paint, and so I'm also cleaning up my almost empty cans of paint. So why not? It'll hardly be visible when I'm all done, but I will know that it looks nice and pretty red underneath the hood and behind the engine and blah, 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 where nobody will ever see it, but I will know how pretty it is. And now you can too. Once again, today doesn't look like a whole lot, still waiting on more parts, but I went ahead and took apart my steering column where I've had a leak where the fluid actually runs up in the steering column. So I'm assuming that the seal that goes around here is what's leaking. And the shaft is rough up here, but the seal actually sits down here where the shaft seems nice and secure, but my seal is shot now for me taking it off. Anyway, so I got a new one of those coming. Hopefully it's the right part. That's the challenge at this point, because I also pulled apart the main input shaft, to the transmission, because I wanted to change the seals right away while I'm right here. So I went ahead and pulled this apart and got that out. But what I discovered, I ordered the main oil seal for this morning, and I got the wrong one. We'll see what comes, but I think it's the wrong one, because there's actually a separate PTO oil seal, and that's what I was thinking I was shopping for, and now I have to because I destroyed the one taking it out. But this is the actual main shaft input oil seal. So I may not even screw with this one because it actually looks really good. That one I got to have, but I think I have the right part number now. I'll tell you one other thing I've discovered is AI, Google AI even, is very helpful. And if I can put in Google AI the model number or the serial number of my tractor, and if I can describe the part correctly, it will give me an option for the original part number. Now, I was not using the right description. I was talking about the main oil seal for the input shaft of the transmission. What I was actually wanting was the PTO oil seal. Anyway, getting a little bit deep in the woods here. Bottom line is, AI is extremely helpful if you choose your words exactly correctly, which I was not doing. So once they would tell me the dimensions of it, it's like, nope, that's way off. So once I figured out what I was saying incorrectly, we'll see how that all turns out. So anyway, AI is very helpful, but it's only as good as the information you put in. So there you go. All right, I'll keep you updated. Just another quickie. A few little things while I'm still waiting on more parts to show up. The more time I have, the more things I paint. So obviously there's the new red gas tank, parts of the steering wheel. I got to take the tape off yet. I just kill time. Here's the resurfaced flywheel, which I swear that thing weighs over 100 pounds. I'm about to reinstall it. I do have the new main rear seal of the engine installed behind this plate, which I went ahead and put the plate on, bolted that up, and I just got done, because I just received the new O-ring and oil seal in the steering column. So I'm hoping that will take care of the steering column leaking issue. And of course I painted this too since I had time and it was off. So anyway, that's just a few little things that I've been doing. I'm still waiting on 2 more oil seals for being able to put all of the main input shaft back together, which all this is parts of that. This goes in here, and there's oil seal in the end of this and down inside the back of that, and then that bolts back up to the inside of the transmission. Hooking all that up. I've got, let's see, the gasket maker I have to remember to install on that when I put that back in. But anyway, just a quick update for the little time-killing intermediate stuff. I'm expecting more parts, my last parts, to come in this weekend. So maybe this weekend I'll be pushing this thing back together. We will see. I'm going to try to keep this part nice and short because it's probably a bunch of stuff that not too many really care about. But anyway, my new flywheel's on, torqued down with my nice new torque wrench, torqued to the right specs. So on this is where the clutch goes. The clutch plate goes on here, and outside of that is where the pressure plate holds the clutch in place. It's bolted to the flywheel to hold that in place. These bolts get a lot of vibration and heat, and over decades of time, they get fracture cracks in them, and these are the most likely bolts to break when you're trying to torque them to the proper spec on the whole machine. So I decided to get some stronger bolts. These are number 8 strength bolts. You can tell by the hash marks on there, and it says 8, which is quite a bit stronger than the original bolts. Now, the only problem is all I could find were bolts that are 1/8 of an inch too long. And they will literally bottom out in these holes and stick out so far that they won't pull the pressure plate into the clutch nice and tight. So, because of that 1/8 of an inch, I have to grind off an 1/8 inch of the end, round it off, and then use my tap and die set, I don't know which is the tap and which is the die, and re-thread the end of the new bolts so that it will nice and smoothly go into the existing holes at the proper depth, which I have 2 done, and I've got 6 more to grind down and re-thread. And then tomorrow I will be able to put the clutch and pressure plate on and have this side ready to go back onto that side. Still just waiting for one oil seal that's supposed to come tomorrow morning so I can put this side back together, and hopefully this weekend I'll be putting the 2 halves back together. Okay, hopefully that's not too long and boring. The front end is put back together. I got really, really good, if I do say so myself, at resizing bolts. Even these high tension number 8 bolts, I had to cut each one of those down 1/8 of an inch, like I said last time, but I got really, really good at it. And yeah, what I did was I put I think it's the die, on the bolt first, and then ground it down the 1/8 of an inch and rounded off the nose, and then I was able to work the threads back onto the cut portion as it came off. That way I didn't have to try to start the die on the fresh cut bolt. So that worked out really well. They worked out perfect for size. Got them all torqued in. So this end is ready to go. Now this end, I just got the oil seal in today that goes right here. It's actually in the freezer right now, which will make it a little bit smaller to make it a little bit easier to seat in here. And then, yeah, if I get out here tomorrow's Sunday, so if I get out here tomorrow, I'll start putting the back end all together and see if we can push these 2 halves back together, see if we can make a tractor out of this mess. Like I expected, today I got the whole transmission side here put back together, and seems like everything went really, really well. The only bad thing is I had to make a gasket for the retainer plate there for the input shaft, and so I have to wait 24 hours before I can let the fluid come up to that. So I was hoping to push the 2 halves together today, but I'm not going to be able to do that because I can't lower this at all because the fluid is right there. And as soon as I lower this down to align with this side, it's going to let that fluid come right up against that freshly made gasket. So tomorrow the plan is to push the 2 halves together. So we'll see how that works out. So I've been working on the exhaust, getting new pipe for the muffler that comes out of the top, and putting some old crap together to make that a little bit better. So anyway, hopefully the next piece of this video will have the 2 halves together if things go well. All right, thanks for watching. It's time. Gasket should be set to bring the 2 halves together. So I'm going to try to set up a time lapse so you can actually watch it come together. I got to try to get the 2 halves at exactly the right same height, and then align, and I've got 3 gears to get lined up as it comes together by twisting the flywheel through the starter hole there. So that's going to be the process that you will hopefully be watching in fast time. So let's see how this goes. And the two shall become one. So anyway, I did test the clutch out and it is working. So hopefully it's all working properly and correct. I did get the structural stuff put back together, the frame and the steering components all put back together, along with all the bolts tying the two together, tightened up the way they need to be. So anyway, there we go. She's at least one piece. Now I got all the little stuff to put back on and test her out. So tomorrow, maybe if I have time, I'll get started on putting the starter back on and putting the hood back on and all the panel stuff, steering wheel, all that stuff. And we'll start testing everything out and see how I did. So, but I do know that the clutch engages because I was turning the flywheel like I was doing when I was trying to get it all aligned, and the wheels started moving forward. And then when I went around and pushed the clutch, it released and settled back. So it appears to be working as it's supposed to. So get all the little stuff put together and we'll test her out.